Buenos Dias, Zamboanga Peninsula. Welcome sa Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Hatid ng Presidential Communications Office and Philippine Information Agency. Ang programang ito ay isang plataforma para sa iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno upang ilahad ang kanilang mga programa at proyekto sa taong bayan at sa mamamayan. Ngayon po sa ating programa at sa ating episode ay pag-uusapan natin patungkol sa seguridad sa buong Western Mindanao at makakasama natin from Western Mindanao Command. Bago ang lahat, we are live at PIA Western Mindanao Facebook page and other government agencies pages. Also, we are live and hooked up via Radio Pilipinas. And of course, we would like to acknowledge all our viewers to please like, share po, and comment po ng inyong mga katanungan later on sa ating programa, and to acknowledge all our media partners who are watching us live all over Zamboanga Peninsula from Basilan, and also from Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and of course here in Zamboanga City who are here with us po today. Kasama po natin sa ating programa from the Westmincom Press Corps po natin. And of course, hindi na po natin patatagalin pa. We would like to acknowledge all our guests po and representative from the Westmincom or Western Mindanao Command who are with us po today. First, let's introduce po Major Orlando Ailon Jr., the Chief of Public Information Office of Westmincom. We have Colonel Alan Van Estrella from the Assistant Chief po of Unified Command Staff for Operations or U3. And then we have Colonel Ray Pasco, the Assistant Unified Command Staff, Assistant Chief of Unified Command Staff also for Civil Military Operations or U7. We also have Colonel Montano Almodovar, the Assistant Chief of Unified Command Staff for Intelligence or U2. And we have Colonel Emmanuel Cabasan, the Chief of Unified Command Staff of Western Mindanao Command. And of course, ang ating guest po or ang ating panauhin ngayong araw sa ating programa, we have Brigadier General Aldrin Anani, the Deputy Commander for External Defense Operations of Western Mindanao Command, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Let's welcome po. Welcome po, General.
Magandang umaga, Myra, and uli, ikinagagalak kong salubungin ang lahat sa isang makasaysayang kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas dito sa Western Mindanao Command. And in behalf of our Commander, Lieutenant General William Gonzales, muli po kami nagpapasalamat at kayo ay naririto upang maipabatid po namin ang aming mga accomplishment o mga nagawa sa mga nakaraang mga araw. Tayo po, ang Western Mindanao Command ay in charge sa central, southern, and western part of the country. Tayo po ay ang itinalaga ng hukbong sandatahan ng Pilipinas upang mapanatili ang kaayusan through our decisive military operation sa ating ISO, ang ating peace, law enforcement, and development support operations, at lalong-lalo na ang ating territorial defense operations. So muli, kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa inyong pagdalo dito sa kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas sa Western Mindanao Command.
Command is located at Camp Don Basilio Navarro, Calarian, Zamboanga City. It is currently under the dependable leadership of Lieutenant William N. Gonzales, Philippine Army. Under its control are the Joint Task Forces Zambelan, which covers Zamboanga Peninsula and the provinces of Lanao del Sur, Lanao del Norte, and Misamis Occidental. Central, which covers the provinces of Maguindanao, Soc-Sargent, and parts of North Cotabato. Orion, which covers the provinces of Sulu and Basilan. Poseidon, which covers the province of Tawi-Tawi and maritime domain of Western Mindanao, and Zamboanga, which covers the entire Zamboanga City. The Western Mindanao Command is beset with different threat groups respectively pursuing their individual interests and goals. On terrorism, there is the Abu Sayyaf group that operates in semi-autonomous groups in the island provinces of Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, and to a lesser extent in Zamboanga City. The Dawla Islamiyah Maute, Magid, and Hassan groups, and the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters in Central Mindanao. Meanwhile, on communist insurgency, this command confronts the Western Mindanao Regional Party Committee of the CPP-NPA-NDF operating in Zamboanga Peninsula and Misamis Occidental, and 3 platoons of the Guerrilla Front 73 of Far South Mindanao Region operating in Maguindanao, Sultan Kudarat Province, and North Cotabato. For peace-inclined groups, we have the Moro National Liberation Front in different parts of Mindanao and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, mostly in Lanao provinces and central Mindanao, where we have signed peace deals with the 2 aforementioned groups. Through the sustained combat, intelligence, and civil-military operations of its joint task forces to disarm and weaken the various threat groups, the Western Mindanao Command gained significant accomplishments which eventually paved the way for internal security and developments in its area of operations. From November 2023 to July 2024, a total of 52 Abu Sayyaf members were neutralized, including sub-leader Mutsimar Sawadjaan alias Mundi, were neutralized. The intensified operations also resulted in the recovery of 41 firearms. The sustained operations of the Joint Task Force Central from November 2023 to July 2024 further resulted in the neutralization of 88 members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, including Indo Omal Sinalimbo, Field Commander of the BIFF Karyalan faction. 99 firearms were also recovered and seized by the troops from the group. For the period covered, 102 members of the Dawla Islamiyah were neutralized by the Joint Task Forces, including DI Maute sub-leader Arsani Membesa alias Katab and its leader Gaddafi Membesa alias Engineer. Also recovered were 74 high-powered and low-powered firearms of the terrorist groups. These accomplishments in the campaign against terrorism are results of the decisive operations carried out by the different military units under West MINCOM. Following the President's pronouncement, the Joint Task Forces Zampelan and Central intensified their operations to contain the communist terrorists in Zamboanga Peninsula and Central Mindanao. From November 2023 to July 2024, 6 rebels were killed while 84 returned to the fold of the law. Of the number, 8 were considered as high-value individuals, including Aprecia Alvarez Rosete alias Bambam, the secretary of the Western Mindanao Regional Party Committee, who was killed during an encounter with the military troops last February 27, 2024. Ronel Avinza Nobong alias Badong, the commanding officer of Platoon BMW who surrendered last April 1, 2024, and Renjon Villegas alias Albert, the first Deputy Secretary of Sub-Regional Committee Daguma of the Western Mindanao Regional Party Committee. Due to the intensified conduct of both combat and non-combat operations against the CTG, West MINCOM under the leadership of Lieutenant General William N. Gonzales, Philippine Army, was able to dismantle the Western Mindanao Regional Party Committee. The group was declared as dismantled on June 10, 2024. The declaration followed the dismantling of its remaining guerrilla fronts, Guerrilla Front Busa and Sendong, which were both declared as dismantled on March 3, 2024. The AFP's focused military operations and peace initiatives effectively reduced the influence of local and communist terrorist groups, paving the way for long-term peace and security. The ongoing decommissioning of MILF combatants and disbandment of private armed groups under the MILF normalization program highlight the shared commitment to peace in preparation for the 2025 elections. With the enormous improvement in the internal peace and security in its area of operation, the Western Mindanao Command endeavored in the deactivation and restructuring of Joint Task Forces Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, which paved the way to the subsequent activation of Joint Task Forces Orion and Poseidon. These initiatives were materialized under the sterling leadership of Lieutenant General Gonzales. JTF Orion operates under the direct supervision of the commander of the 11th Infantry Division, while JTF Poseidon is under the direct supervision of the commander of Naval Forces, Western Mindanao. Lieutenant General Gonzales advocated the reorganization of the area of forces of West MINCOM in order to be more responsive to the campaign in territorial defense. This is in support of the AFP Territorial Defense Campaign Plan Bantay Kalayaan 2023 to 2028, which focuses on the conduct of security and defense operations in a multi-domain environment to deter escalations of adversaries' illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive activities, sustain maritime operations, and respond to aggression in order to protect the country's national interests and secure its sovereignty, sovereign rights, and territorial integrity while protecting its people's democratic way of life and resources. Since the activation of Joint Task Force Orion on September 25, 2023, West MINCOM completely dismantled the ASG organization in Sulu and Basilan. Joint Task Force Orion already completed the Area Clearing Evaluation Board of Sulu-based ASG as dismantled and the required processes declaring the city of Lamitan and the municipalities of Ongkaya-Pukan, Tuburan, Tabuan Lasa, Akbar, Lantawan, and Albarca, all of the province of Basilan as ASG-free. Meanwhile, since its activation on July 9, 2024, Joint Task Force Poseidon successfully intercepted 11 watercrafts involved in smuggling activities. The establishment of marine detachments has been effective in preventing illegal activities in critical areas. Additionally, the air and naval components of West MINCOM, the Tactical Operations Wing Western Mindanao and Naval Forces Western Mindanao have conducted a total of 17 trilateral patrols, 32 aerial patrols, shadowing of 3 Chinese vessels, and 252 maritime surveillance from November 2023 to July 2024. Under the leadership of Lieutenant General Gonzales, West MINCOM continued its campaigns against the proliferation of loose firearms by supporting the Small Arms and Light Weapons program initiated by the government. The program is part of the normalization process under the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro that aims to significantly reduce the number of loose firearms to a manageable level. It is also the command's effort to address the root cause of criminality and conflict. The Small Arms and Light Weapons program continues to reach greater heights through the strengthened collaboration between the command and the local government units. In addition to this, on July 29, 2024, the Bangsamoro Task Force to End Local Armed Conflict or BTF-ALAC adopted Resolution No. 1 directing the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police with support from the Bangsamoro government to its concerned agencies to eradicate ritos, lawlessness, and all forms of armed conflicts in the barangays, municipalities, and the provinces in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao in order to strengthen productive, peaceful, and God-fearing Bangsamoro communities. This resolution paved the way for the creation of the BTF-ALAC Coordination Committee on Radio Prevention and Settlement, otherwise known as the BTF-ALAC CCORPS. To support national development, the Western Mindanao Command continuously provides infrastructure support, disaster response, and community development initiatives. The units under West MINCOM actively participates in activities which promote peace, wellness, and community development such as the Run for Peace, medical and dental missions, and other related activities. On the second quarter of 2024, a low-pressure area coupled with the southwest monsoon impacted Zamboanga City, the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, Zambelan, and Central Mindanao. This adverse weather led to significant flooding, landslides, and extensive damage to infrastructure, resulting in casualties and loss of life. On July 12, 2024, Zamboanga City experienced flash flooding following moderate to heavy rainfall. In total, 628 families were evacuated from various barangays to safeguard lives and property. Simultaneously, heavy rainfall triggered additional landslides and flash floods in the provinces of Lanao del Sur and Zamboanga del Sur. In response to this humanitarian crisis, the command activated and swiftly deployed pre-positioned units, including naval assets, to assist in the relief and rescue efforts. Coordination with local government units and non-governmental organizations have been provided to ensure the adequate support and resources are delivered to the affected individuals and communities. The reserve force serves as the base for the expansion of the regular force in the event of war, invasion or rebellion, relief and rescue during disasters or calamities, for socio-economic development, and in the operation and maintenance of essential government or private utilities in the furtherance of the overall mission of the AFP. In connection to these, the Western Mindanao Command facilitated the conduct of various courses actively participated by the reserve components of the unit. In its desire to accomplish its mandate to protect the people and maintain peace and security, the command demands from all its military personnel and civilian human resources to continuously exercise a high standard of performance and discipline in order to uplift further the trust and confidence of the Filipino people. Team West Mincom continues to dedicate its unfailing loyalty and undying determination to serve the nation and the Filipino people. The pledge of its soldiers to remain professional, capable, and responsive will always bring hope in achieving genuine peace and social progress, because Team West Mincom will always be the partner of every Filipino in advancing peace and development in the western, southern, and central parts of Mindanao.
And that was the audiovisual presentation of the accomplishments and programs po ng Western Mindanao Command. Now po, we will proceed with our question and answer from our media partners. First, I will read questions po from our media watching us live. First question po, General, we have a question from Basilan Media. First, some municipalities in Basilan were already declared as ASG-free. How does the military define Abu Sayyaf-free areas? Are there any specific measures or conditions that must be met for an area to be declared free of ASG influence?
Napakagandang tanong, Myra, no? Honestly, yung parameters for the dismantling of local terrorist group is yet to be approved, yung parameters na yan. But eventually, ang parameters, kumbaga, para may deklarang ASG-free ang isang lugar ay yung pagbawas ng mga krimen like kidnapping, kidnap or ransom group activities, and yung mga taliwas sa panuntunan ng batas. So sa Basilan, alam natin na maraming area doon o lugar, municipalities na nag-declare ng ASG-free. Nakita natin sa ABP, ang iba't ibang municipality. At ito ay nagpapatunay na ang LGU o ang ating mga local chief executive ay kasama natin sa pagpapatupad ng mga adhikain na ito upang matanggal ang mga ganitong uri ng karahasan sa province ng Basilan. So hopefully by the year end, magkakaroon tayo ng tamang panuntunan kung paano natin maideklara na naayon sa batas na ang isang lugar ay open for development. So it's a good thing that Basilan now is really open for development, as you've seen in various media pronouncement.
Sir, follow up to that po, how does the military assess the impact of the declaration of these areas as Abu Sayyaf-free on the overall security situation in Western Mindanao? Are there any plans po to expand this declaration to other areas naman po in the region?
Yes, of course. Unang-una, yung Abu Sayyaf covers not only Basilan, also Hulo and Tawi-Tawi, some part of Tawi-Tawi. And at some instance, apektado rin po ang Zamboanga City and some parts of Zamboanga del Sur. nakaraan, nagdiwang tayo ng ikatlong anibersaryo ng pagdedeklara ng insurgency free ng Zamboanga Sibugay. Pinangunahan ito ng ating Pangulo at nakita natin na ang local government is really bent on improving their areas. Kalakip dito, ang 102nd Brigade, pinangungunahan ni Brigadier General Tex Suderio, ay nagkaroon ng isang programa na sinang-ayunan naman ni Lieutenant General Gonzales. Ito yung tinatawag naming PPBM o Planong Pangseguridad sa Bagong Bayang Matatag. So napakaganda ng terminology na napili ni General Suderio. And hopefully by this acronym, we can replicate this in other areas. It is a transition or exit strategy by which the local government, the people themselves, through the various people's organization, will take charge in developing their areas. Tapos na po yung insurgency. Tapos na po yung trabaho ng AFP. Ngayon, kailangan po namin ng suporta ng local government units at ng sambayanan.
Thank you po, sir. Last na lang po from Basilan. Ang RIDO ay isa sa mga pangunahing dahilan ng mga nakaraang kaguluhan sa Basilan. Ano-ano ang mga ginagawang hakbang ng kasundaluhan upang masolusyonan ang mga RIDO dito sa probinsya?
Napakagandang tanong uli, Myra. No? Sa 101st Brigade, pinangungunahan ni Brigadier General Alvin Luzon, nagkaroon tayo ng maraming RIDO settlement. Iba't ibang armed groups and family-related conflicts or horizontal conflicts. Nagkaroon sila ng maayos na pag-uusap upang mawakasan itong RIDO na to. And kalakip diyan, ang BARM ay nagpasa ng Resolution number 1. Ito yung naglalayon na tapusin na yung mga ganitong klase ng karahasan. So with that, magkakaroon po tayo ng BTF-ELAC coordinating mechanism for RIDO settlement. So hindi lang ito sa Basilan, buong area po ng BARM area. So hopefully by this, mawawakasan po natin ang horizontal conflict.
Thank you po, sir. Next question po ay manggagaling from Zamboanga del Sur Media, from Sir Manny Maulana of 101.5 DXID FM. Sir, first po, update po regarding insurgency in every province.
Wow, napakahirap po atang sagutin yan in every province. But I can speak in general, especially in your area. Yun nga, nabanggit ko kanina na nagkaroon na tayo ng declaration as insurgency free. Napakahirap po na puro lip service lang, ika nga. Idideklara mo lang na insurgency free ang isang lugar kung walang kalakip na development o pag-unlad sa areang ito. Kaya nga, ang inyong sandatahan na pinangungunahan ni Major General Biray doon sa area na to at ni Brigadier General Suderio ay nagkaroon ng plano para itong transition na ito from insurgency to a developed area ay magkaroon ng maluwag na transition to peace and development. And sustainment of that peace is very necessary. So kailangan po ng partisipasyon ng lahat, lalong-lalo na ng sambayanan at ng mga local chief executive.
Follow-up question po niya, sir, is update po update on campaign against terrorism and other illegal perpetrator.
For terrorism, marami pong source ng terrorism. Unang-una po, ang inaaksyonan po ng Western Mindanao Command ay yung financial sources po nito. So far sa aming pag-aanalisa, through the efforts of our Unified Command Staff for Intelligence, yung sources of terrorism, yung financial sources po nito ay wala po sa kasalukuyan. Hindi po sila nagkakaroon ng financing coming from the outside or even from the inside. So it's a good indication that those believing in these actions without financial support will hopefully end their endeavor in espousing what they believe in.
Thank you po. Next po from Sibugay Media Club, can you provide an update of the modernization efforts of the AFP? How are these efforts enhancing the country's defense capabilities?
For modernization, napakalawak po nito. Pwede po nating pag-usapan sa punto ng Army, sa punto po ng Air Force at sa punto po ng Navy. Sa pangkahalatan, ang Western Mindanao Command ay isang force employer. So sa modernisasyon na ginagawa ng ating sandatahan na pinangungunahan ng ating ahensya sa defense, naglalayon ito na paigtingin o palakasin ang kapabilidad ng mga bawat major service providers, Navy, Air Force, and the Army. And it costs a lot for the government to be investing on this. But for the Unified Command, just like West Mincom, we are for the joint utilization of these capabilities. So yung modernisasyon na ito ay hopefully will put us at a credible level to address the current threat, especially in our area. Sa amin, sa Western Mindanao Command, kami po ay naglalayon na mabigyan ng mga additional naval assets, appropriate aircraft to patrol our seas, especially in the Sulusi and Sibutu area. Alam ninyo, Myra, meron tayong tinatawag na trilateral cooperative agreement between among Malaysia and Indonesia. Kasama po dito ang Pilipinas upang ating bantayan ang dagat na namamagitan sa tatlong bansa na ito. Ito po ang dahilan kung bakit na bawasan yung kaso po ng human smuggling, smuggling of goods, and also the kidnap or ransom activities. Pinatunayan po ito ng Malaysia at Indonesia nung nakaraang pagkikita po namin sa Indonesia. At true enough, this is a good thing to look forward to, especially with our modernizing capability. So we're looking forward to having those equipment at hand para mapaigting pa ang ating seguridad at we can sustain the peace here in Western Mindanao.
Thank you po, sir. Follow-up po, how is the AFP handling issues of misconduct within its ranks and what reforms are being implemented to maintain integrity within the organization?
Ang ating mga kasundalahan ay patuloy na sumusunod sa mga panuntunan ng organisasyon. Dito sa Western Mindanao Command, nagkakaroon din po ng mga ganyang issue, lalong-lalo na sa Bausi. Ang major services ay responsible for the administrative sanction of these individuals, and we see to it that this individual as well follow those rules as mandated by law. So hindi po sila napapabayaan na hindi managot sa kanilang pagkukulang na naayon sa tamang pulisiya ng ating hukbong sandatahan.
Next question po still from Sibugay. What are the current security challenges po in Zamboanga Peninsula and how are you addressing it?
For the current challenges that we're facing right now is really to develop the areas and to keep the people informed on the effects of patronizing violent activities, both from the CTGs and the LTGs. Mahirap po na ang inyong kasundaluhan ay patuloy na nagbabantay ng ating kapaligiran, both on seas, air, and land. Ngunit ang ating sambayanan ay hindi well-informed o hindi nila nalalaman kung ano yung ating mga aksyon. Ano yung dapat nilang bantayan upang mapanatili natin ang ating nasimulan at magtuloy-tuloy ito. I have yet to see all these areas na noon ay talagang napakagulo naman. Hindi lang sa Zamboanga, Sibugay, pati na dito sa Far South. So napakagandang makita na itong mga lugar na to ay fully developed and open for tourism, ika nga.
Okay, next question po. What role does Westmincom play in safeguarding the West Philippine Sea, particularly in terms of patrolling and responding to potential threats in the region?
Alam mo, Myra, itong Western Mindanao is punong-puno po ito ng SLOCs o Sea Lane of Communications. Nandyan ang Sibuto Strait, Basilan Strait, nandyan pa. Marami pong barko ang dumadaan dito. And with that, nagkakaroon po tayo ng mga reports coming from, not only from our littoral monitoring stations, which is part of the Navy's awareness system. Ito po ay nai-report din ng mga ating mga reservist unit coming from here sa Zamboanga mostly, yung ating mga barko na mangingisda. They report illegal intrusions and reported vessels coming in, passing through this lane. Sila po ay china-challenge natin through our LMS or Maritime Coordinating Centers. At nalalaman po natin ang karampatang aksyon para dito. Ang Naval Forces Western Mindanao ngayon ang siyang namumuno sa ating bagong tatag na Joint Task Force, ang Joint Task Force Poseidon. Sa katunayan, nung mga nakaraang araw, meron po tayong mga sinundan ng mga Chinese vessels. Itong mga Chinese vessels na to are coming from south and with the intention of joining their other colleagues probably in the West Philippine Sea. So malaki po ang tulong ng Western Mindanao Command in monitoring this transit of naval ships. While we respect the rule-based order, lalong-lalo na po yung SLOCs na naayon sa UNCLOS, patunay po ito na kami po ay sumusuporta upang bantayan ang ating maritime domain.
Thank you po. Follow up po dyan, paano po yung coordination natin with other branches of the AFP and allied nations to address po yung challenges and assert the Philippine sovereignty in the WPS?
To really coordinate, we need to train. So kami po sa Western Mindanao Command ay patuloy na nagkakaroon ng pagsasanay. Hindi lamang po within the services here, from the Army, Air Force, and the Navy, we also involved the Coast Guard. We also involved the BIPAR and some reservist units, both on the ground and sea. So kami po ay patuloy na salamuha sa kanila. And we're also coordinating as well with the various forces, foreign forces here, just like the SOTF 511.2 headed by the U.S. Marines. We have liaisons here coming from Australia as well. This enhances our interoperability with other forces. They also lead us, train us, educate us on various things.
How about po yung ating mga local fishermen and yung mga residents natin living in the coastal area? Are they affected po ba sa tensions that happening po in the WPS?
West Philippine Sea, napakalayo po sa Western Mindanao. But if you look at the way people live here, puro po, majority, mostly is yung pangingisda. Kaya po nang sinabi mo, definitely, they are worried dun sa mangyayari sa West Philippine Sea. Unang-una, yung pagkakaroon ng sigalot sa West Philippine Sea will definitely affect us. Napakalapit lang po niyan. Although dagat lang ang pagitan natin, all other actions, commercial, shipping vessels passing through here will be definitely affected by the conflict in the West Philippine Sea.
Thank you po. Next po from Zamboanga del Norte Media, do you share your intelligence data to the police and other security agency in the government to prevent crimes or acts of terrorism from happening like in Ipil, Marawi, and Zamboanga Siege?
Yeah, we do. We do share information with other agencies, especially with the police. We conduct joint AFP and police information or intelligence coordination meetings, JAPIC, through our Unified Command Staff for Intelligence. Ito po yung mga informasyon na sasaad kung kailan ang isang regional party committee or yung private armed group ay dismantled na or neutralized. So we do share information with them.
Thank you po. Last na lang po a question from netizen po watching. General Anani, you mentioned that the local government units can help sustain the gains of Western Mindanao as an insurgency-free area. In what manner the LGUs can help effectively sustain the said gains?
Napakagandang tanong uli. Ibabahagi ko lang din yung ginagawa ngayon ng ni General Soderio at ng Joint Task Force Sampelan. Meron po silang tinatawag na SPOUSE. Sustaining Peace, Order, and Unity and Stability Efforts. So SPOUSE. So sabi nga ng karamihan, a happy wife is a happy life. So parang ihalin tulad po natin yon. If we sustain the peace already existing, if we maintain order, if we maintain unity, we can readily stabilize all efforts and maintain the peace in the region. So, yun lang po para sa inyong Western Mindanao Command.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you also sa ating mga media partners watching live and sa ating mga viewers watching live. Now we will entertain questions po from our media or part po ng press corps in West Mincom who are with us today. First, we have a question from Sir Roel Pareño of Philippine Star. Sige po, we will entertain questions po from our media partners who are with us today. And again, sa mga gusto pa pong magpahabol po ng kanilang mga questions who are watching online, please po comment your questions.
Yeah, I was supposed to give the honor to Julie, who is the president of the Defense Press Corps. But anyway, thank you, Julie. First, sir, I will ask just in connection with the terrorism campaign natin. The foreign jihadists, especially those in Indonesia and even Malaysia, are still looking at southern Philippines, specifically Central Mindanao and the Basulta area as their possible areas to deal with. May mga monitoring po ba tayong ginagawa yung grupo na to with the remaining local terrorist group?
Yes, indeed, we're doing close monitoring on all the personalities involved. Meron po tayong coordination with other agencies, especially with the police, NICA, to monitor those high-value individuals. And so far, wala naman po tayong nakikitang development on their activities. And truly, their activities have been reduced radically because of the support of the local chief executives in eradicating them, especially on their sources of finance.
My second question, sir, has something to do with the coming election. Have we insulated those former members or tinatawag ng FRC? Members ng Abu Sayyaf, members ng DNFF, even the Dawla Islamiyah. Na-insulate na po ba sila sa possible grupo ng political clans, political leaders, and those even who have been from the organized armed group now serving in the politics na hindi sila magagamit in this coming election? Yun lang po, sir. Thank you.
Napakagandang tanong po yan. Recently, nagkaroon po kami ng meeting with the PAPRU and we discussed about the dismantling of private armed groups. Ang source po ng mga private armed groups are mostly coming from those organizations you mentioned. So, diyan po kami nagkakaroon ng agam-agam pag yung mga private armed groups na yan ay muling bumalik sa mga peace-inclined armed groups like MNLF or MILF after resorting to being a private armed group. So, ang pag-i-insulate po siguro sa mga grupong yan ay naayon na rin sa mga mandato ng kanilang mga liderato. So, like with the MILF, they have strict observance of the rules they signed with us, with the government, na kung sino man ang magbabiolate sa mga agreement na yon, they will be delisted. Tatanggalin po sila sa listahan. And appropriate sanctions will be given to them, both administrative and criminal as well. So mahigpit din po ang mga grupo na yan in trying to discipline their men. So hopefully itong coming election, magiging maayos pong lahat. And in fact, we're doing all the contingency plan related to this upcoming national and local election. Ito po yung kauna-unahang BARM election, so binabantayan po ito ng lahat.
Thank you, Sir Roel. Next po from Ma'am Melanie Guanzon of RMN.
Good morning po, sir. Kamakailan lamang ang Joint Task Force Poseidon nakapag-recover ng bomb components sa Barangay Mariki at Rio Hondo. Ito ba talaga intended for illegal fishing or may iba pang dahilan? At saan po nagaling ang nasabing explosiva? At second question po, sir, para sa nalalapit na eleksyon, may kinoconsider ba tayong hotspot area sa AOR ng Western Mindanao Command? At kung meron man po, ano-ano po ito?
First, I would like to answer first yung yung hotspot. Well, the COMELEC is responsible for declaring hotspot area dito sa mga provinces of Western Mindanao. Na sasang-ayunan din naman ng mga ng AFP and PNP in the area. If indeed the area is to be declared as hotspot. But so far, those areas has not been declared. So we're hoping that come election time, those areas will be free of violence. So hopefully we can have that done, especially with the timeline given to us to eradicate all these insurgents or violent extremists in our area by year end. Ganun po katindi yung aming timeline. And we hope that by the election next year, wala pong hotspot na may deklara dito sa ating area. For the first question, yung mga nakita pong mga explosive materials, right now I think the PNP in coordination with our various intelligence units are conducting their investigation. And for some confidential information, we'd rather not discuss it in public. Thank you.
Thank you po. Next, we have Sir Justin Bulanon of Radyo Pilipinas.
Sir, good morning. Kumusta po yung presence ng foreign nationals here in the region? Meron po ba tayong cases of their involvement in illegal activities here in Zamboanga Peninsula? And how does the Westmincom address these concerns? And how do you make sure na the communities are safe from these illegal activities? Kasi recently meron pong mga na-aresto na Chinese nationals and a Taiwanese national na involved dun sa illegal mining here in the region.
For foreign nationals, wala kaming informasyon, direct information as to their direct involvement in those activities. But rest assured, the law will apply to them as well, especially the foreigners. So kung wala po silang karampatang permit para magtrabaho rito, unang-una, isa pong paglabag na sa ating batas. So kung sino man ang lalabag sa mga panuntunan o batas ng ating sambayanan, ay dapat managot. And we're here to support law enforcement as well. So marami po kaming mga law enforcement operation. Isa na po siguro yan ang aming bibigyan ng pansin. At tutugunan po yung mga tanong na yan.
Thank you.
Thank you po, Sir Justin. Next po, we have Ma'am Julie Alipala, the President of our Westmincom Press Corps from Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Good morning.
Morning
Dito
po.
may spot pala dito. Para ako. Yeah, good morning. Sir, you made mention about the Australian and American soldiers here. Ano ho bang pinagkakaabalahan nila dito ngayon? Second, are they part of the Poseidon? Kung yes or no, we've observed that within this year, from January to August, we have around 140 individuals rescued, secured by the Poseidon. I don't know if it's Poseidon or the Navy, but they were reported by the civilians. So, in relation to the foreign American, Australian soldiers here, are they helping in the logistics of the Poseidon? Or may enough bang logistics ang Poseidon?
First, yung Task Force Poseidon was created last June. So yung mga nakaraang operasyon po ay pinangungunahan ng Naval Forces Western Mindanao. But now they are leading the activities against those illegal activities. Yung Task Force Poseidon. Pinangungunahan po nito ni Rear Admiral Tagamulila. Indeed, the SOTF 511.2 to be specific, pinangungunahan ng mga US Marines and a liaison officer coming from Australia, they're helping us both on logistics and training. Yung SOTF 511.2 help us as well in various sea operations, maritime law enforcement and maritime security operations. Nagkaroon po tayo rin ng exercise with other reservist units at naging matagumpay po ito, lalong-lalo na sa ating Naval Forces Western Mindanao. Mahirap po na gampanan ng Task Force Poseidon ang kanilang tungkulin sa ngayon dahil po sa limitasyon ng kapabilidad. Alam niyo naman po na halos lahat ng naval asset natin ay nasa West Philippine Sea. But nonetheless, the presence of these foreign forces here help us a lot, especially dung sa kanilang helicopter, yung kanilang helicopter na nandito at even fixed wing. From the last report, they in fact would be flying like 12 hours a day to perform their missions here, both for the unmanned and manned aircraft. Wala man silang vessels na available dito, but their presence up in the air is very crucial in accomplishing our mission. They perform humanitarian mission as well, picking up wounded and patients coming from far-flung areas and be brought here for medications.
Yung second, sir, kung mamamarapati pa. We acknowledge that there are areas in Basilan and Sulu being declared as Abu Sayyaf free, but it's like a packet of declaration from different, coming from different towns. And we also learned that most of those victims, of those people who surrendered, are still not yet over with their trauma and ordeal. Most of them are in Zamboanga and some outside the country. And every time they see the pictures of this Abu Sayyaf together with some military officers, parang the tormentor with the protector. So there was no, for them there was no transitional justice here. So, and there was no healing. So how can the West Mincom come in to make sure that these former victims of the Abu Sayyaf can, magkaroon na ng closure over their conditions na pinagdaanan at ma-recognize din sila na sila biktima at mabigyan ng hustisya yung kanilang pinagdaanan.
Tama po yun. To get over with the experience ay napakahirap pong talagang gawin. Kung traumatic po lalong-lalo na yung nangyari na yun. Mayroon naman pong programa ang gobyerno, especially here in Western Mindanao Command, by trying to bring those people back to where they were before, lalong-lalo na po sa Hulo. I was witness to that together with Brigadier General Tampus. Pinuntahan po namin yung mga area na once populated by those extremists. And bumalik po yung mga tao doon. They are now starting their lives back and feeling the sense of security. But going over those personal experiences is really very difficult. Rest assured, your armed forces will help, and probably the local chief executive will help us as well in trying to overcome these personal experiences.
Kasama dito yung psychosocial.
Yes, ma'am, psychosocial activities. Meron po tayong mga activity na nagpapadala po tayo rito ng mga psychologists, doctors to evaluate those persons and probably endorse them to proper medical facilities para matugunan po ang kanilang pangangailangan.
Kasi naging one-shot deal lang yung psychosocial before. So parang walang sustainability or follow-ups. Yun lang naman yung parang kulang. Saka doon sa mga kaso din.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, meron po tayong tinatawag na Mobile Community Support System Program or MCSSP. Pwede po naming idagdag po yan o palakasin pa ang aming efforts towards that psychosocial efforts in trying to really help those individuals, those victims sa mga ganyang karahasan.
Thank you, Ma'am Julie. I think we have one last question na po from Sir Ray Bayuging, the CEO of eMedia.
Hi, sir. Good morning po. Last 2 months ago, our country devastated by different disaster. Malaking papel ng ating Armed Forces of the Philippines, especially the West MINCOM. And it's already identified by Pag-asa na maraming bagyo sa atin. And Del Norte, Del Sur, Sibugay, may mga landslide. Ano yung working plan mayroon yung West MINCOM to respond to these disasters?
To respond, really, the first thing we should do is be aware that climate change is real. So patuloy po yung aming programa para malaman ng karamihan na ang pagbabago ng klima ay isang sanhi nitong mga ganitong sakuna. So we're doing our efforts to involve various stakeholders. In fact, we're having the incident management training together with our U9, Colonel Elio, to enhance our capability to address this situation. Kasama po rito yung various chief executives sa mga training na ito. Sa kapabilidad naman, patuloy po namin tinutugunan. Kasama na po ang mga LGUs na magkaroon po tayo ng mga search and rescue vessels or retrieval vessels. Kasama rin po rito yung training para matugunan o ma-actionan yung mga ganito. Mahirap po na paghandaan yung mga ganitong sakuna. I was once there in Yolanda doing retrieval operation. So mahirap po pag nandun na tayo sa dulo, retrieval na lang. So we should always be prepared to address various disasters, not only in addressing typhoons, probably earthquake. Lalong-lalo na dito sa area natin, meron pong history ito ng tsunami. So hopefully, magkaroon din po tayo ng karampatang pagsasanay para aksyonan ito or maharap ito.
Do we have enough assets to support LGU in case like air assets, dagat natin, and example like earthquake? Mayroon ba tayo ready for disposal anytime?
Meron po tayong appropriate asset. Like we have right now the C-208 Bravo, previously assigned for intelligence and surveillance and reconnaissance operation. Pero maaari po natin siyang gamitin sa pag-assess sa mga damages sa mga area na nasalanta. So, meron din po tayong mga helicopters na available. We have the UE that can form on a limited scale. Hindi na lang po natin siya ginagamit ngayon for combat, but also for that.
Sir, as far as our military is concerned, we have two front of threats that looking into the internal and the external threat. Okay. As far as West MINCOM is concerned, the percentage of focus Is it the internal or the external threat?
Right now, the focus is still internal. As I've said earlier, we're meeting a timeline. In fact, we extend it again. But the timeline is to really finish it by year end. So our internal security operation is continuing. And ilan na lang po ito, mga ilan-ilan na lang sa areas ng Lanao, Maguindanao, but not here. So hindi na po katulad ng dati. So we can concentrate the limited assets that we have to address the areas in conflict. In fact, we are reorganizing our unit, just like what I've said about Task Force Poseidon. And the ground units will be repositioned as well to address these high conflict areas.
So ibig sabihin, sir, hindi pa masyado mabigat yung external threat. Still, it's the...
Right now, hindi pa natin nakikita yung bigat nito or the magnitude of its effect in Western Mindanao. But as I've said, dalawa po yung ating binabandayan dito, yung Sibuto Strait and Basilan Strait. This could be an area where our future enemy would pass through.
Mhm.
And pag nakapasok na po ito, nasa loob na po siya ng ating territorial waters. Well within the areas where Westcom and Westwincom is situated. So binabantayan po natin ito. And we're in fact testing for upgrade or improvement ng ating mga monitoring stations.
Lastly po, sir, you made mention a while ago about you are asking support from the local government to maintain the peace and order. 2 months ago, I was able to visit the Camp Salman of MILF in Tungawan, together with the 54th Engineering Brigade. There is really a big part ang local government. But specifically, what kind of support from local government ang kinakailangan ng AFP to maintain the peace and order in their own local areas?
Napakarami pong maaaring maging papel ng ating mga local government units. Isa na po dito siguro ang pagtatalaga ng people's organization from within their mandated areas, from the barangay level. Kung magkakaroon po sila ng isang grupo na magsusustain ng peace and order and will propose development in the area as well. So napakalaki po. Kulang po siguro yung isang rim ng bond paper to list it down because the local chief executives will always be there to support the people in the area. Kami po ay nandyan lang to support the transition, but we will definitely still support their efforts.
One of the best practice in Tungawan is that they bring in the Western Mindanao State University to educate the children of the commanders, and one is the TESDA training for all this armed rebel. I think isa yun sa mga kailangan siguro, sir.
Tama po kayo. Pag wala po silang pagkukunan ng hanap buhay, mahirap din po talaga. So isa po yun, to educate them and probably capacitate them na magkaroon po sila ng kakayanan upang magkaroon ng tamang hanap buhay na hindi na po magiging source of violence yung area nila.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much po. Again, maraming salamat po sa ating media partners and of course yung ating Westmincom Press Corps for being with us here sa ating venue and sa inyong mga katanungan. Again, we would like to thank all our resource person also, and together with him, we will acknowledge po everyone again. But before that, we would like to hear a closing message po from our guest. We have again Brigadier General Aldrin Anani.
Magandang umaga po muli sa lahat. In behalf of Westmincom, headed by our commander, Lieutenant General William N. Gonzales, kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa Philippine Information Agency and of course the Westmincom Press Corps and of course kay Myra for having us here sa inyong kapihan sa bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat sa mga suporta ng ating various stakeholders, lalong-lalo na ang mga civilian and the local chief executives from the BARM as well for helping us in our mandate to keep the peace and sustain the peace. Sa kaalaman po ng lahat, kami po ay magkakaroon ng 18th founding anniversary. Kumbaga, debut po namin ito sa August 28, ang Western Mindanao Command. So, with that trust in our mind of helping the people, by doing our peace, law enforcement, and development support operation, by doing our internal security operation, by doing our territorial defense operation, we're hoping that the people and the local chief executives will help us attain and sustain the peace here in Western Mindanao. Muli, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat and for supporting Western Mindanao Command all these 18 years that we're here. Thank you very much.
Thank you po once again, Brigadier General Aldrin Anani, the Deputy Commander for External Defense Operations of Western Mindanao Command Armed Forces of the Philippines. Again, we would like to acknowledge po yung mga mga kasama po natin ngayon from West Mincom who are with us. From the Unified Command Staff, we have the Chief, Colonel Emmanuel Cabasan, Philippine Army. Together with him, of course, ang Assistant Chief din po for Intelligence, we have Colonel Montano Almodovar. And then we also have Colonel Ray Pasco, the Assistant Chief for Civil Military Operations. And of course, we also have Colonel Alan Van Estrera, the Assistant Chief for Operations. And lastly po, Major Orlando Ailon, the Chief of Public Information Office. Maraming salamat po. And of course, sa buong team po ng PIA for making this episode possible also. And muli, nagpapasalamat kami sa ating panauhin and sa lahat po ng ating mga viewers ng Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Muli po, ito si Myra Espinosa sa ngalan po ng PCO Secretary Cheloy Garafil, PIA Director General Jose Torres Jr., and Regional Director Ms. Noemi Edaga. Makita-kita tayo sa mga susunod pang episodes ng Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Muchísimas gracias.